Welcome to Critical Thinking Ministry. Let me start this broadcast by saying Happy New Year. Happy 2022. And it is my sincere prayer that you receive everything God has in store for you for 2022. Personally, 2021 was the absolute best for me and my family. God absolutely wowed us. My daughter graduated summa cum laude from college. In addition, we purchased a new home, and that is such a blessing. And the Most High took a bad situation spiritually and turned it into something wonderful by giving me the confidence to trust Him in creating Critical Thinking Ministry. On New Year's Eve, something special happened with the ministry. We cracked the 600 subscriber mark, which lets me know God is with us and the people are hungry for truth. So continue to tell a friend and subscribe and click the notification button for future videos. Well, enough talking. Let's get 2022 off right. Let's go. Let's learn together. Let's start the broadcast off with a video that I think you will find insightful. I'll be right back.
A minor theft might have turned into a major religious discovery. A missing artifact was found in the closet of a Tennessee motorhome. Volunteer TV's John Trainer talked with the owner of a rare painting who didn't know what he had. John?
Yeah, Alan, it makes you wonder what you might have in your house. In this case, it was an authentic 19th century painting of the Vale of Veronica. It's like a story ripped from a Hollywood screenplay. A small road in the mountains of Tennessee, a living room in a motorhome, and a 150-year-old painting blessed by Pope Leo XIII. This is the true face of Jesus Christ, one of a handful of paintings based on the cloth used to wipe Jesus' face before his crucifixion, known as the Veil of Veronica. Its owner, a 73-year-old man who didn't want to be identified and had no idea what he had.
I've lived here for about 17 years. It's been in there, either in there or in my bedroom, ever since.
So how does a holy relic go from the holy city to Monroe County? Well, the man known as Frosty tells us he got it as a present and hung it on his wall 20 years ago, but 3 years later, it found a home in this cloth bank bag and was thrown in his closet, until police say it was stolen by Kelly Gormley, who tried to sell it to this Madisonville church. The church told the sheriffs made the arrest, and a piece of religious history was uncovered.
You know, at first, obviously, it was a big surprise for us that something like this might even, be in East Tennessee. Normally, you'd expect to find something like this in a museum or maybe in Rome, in the Vatican.
The painting is now under lock and key in a secret location. Gormley is in prison for theft, and Frosty is overwhelmed that a treasure was laying hidden in his home.
I know they really wanted it bad, but I said, nah, I don't think I'll be parting with it.
Now, the church is now working with Rome to authenticate and appraise the painting. If it is real, it is invaluable to the church.
Wow. I felt kind of sorry for the gentleman being so scared of his conservative evangelical Christian friends that he didn't even want to be identified. Poor guy. I thought race didn't matter. Oh well. Now, in order to be totally transparent, besides the color, we don't know for sure if this is a true representation of Jesus, because the prophet Isaiah said he had no beauty that the world would desire him. In layman's terms, Jesus was very average looking, if not even below average. And if you remember when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was so average looking that Judas had to kiss him in order to point him out to the guards. So take it for what it's worth. But did you hear what the news anchor said at the end? Did you catch it? The Vatican is authenticating this painting, and if it is real, it is considered invaluable. So that everyone is on the same page, I put up the definition of the word invaluable, and it reads, beyond calculable or appraisable value, of inestimable worth, priceless. And this is coming from the Vatican in Rome. Again, as I said in the last video, the cat is out of the bag for those who have an ear to hear. Now, what I find interesting is this picture in the report of a black-skinned Jesus is considered priceless. But the image the world has been given of Jesus can be bought on Amazon for $7. Now that's something to think about. Let's go deeper. Anyone who knows me knows my favorite channel to watch is the ID Network. I can watch this channel all day long, and I usually do on Saturdays. I love crime reenactment shows. One of my favorites is a guy by the name of Joe Kenda. Joe Kenda was a detective for the Colorado Springs Police Department, and he had one of the highest resolution rate of solving murders at 92%. He was asked one day, how did he solve such a high percentage of murders? And he said in his cantankerous, grumpy voice, I don't believe in coincidences. I always follow the evidence. So I have adopted this approach when it comes to reading the Bible, studying information regarding the Most High, or when just listening to someone teach. I don't believe in coincidences. I follow the evidence. And if you've been watching this ministry and don't understand the ancient biblical Hebrews were black-skinned, then I can't help you at this point. But just as a refresher, I'm going to play a clip from one of my old videos before I provide more evidence. King John II in 1492 expelled all the Jews to the island of St. Thomas. Now, this isn't the St. Thomas in the Caribbean area. The area at that time was known as Sao Tome Island, which is on the screen, was considered a part of Africa. They expelled the Jews to St. Thomas, which had been discovered in 1471, and they expelled them to other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa, it says. And from these banished Jews, the Black Portuguese, as they were called, let's pause for a moment. In English, when you separate a phrase by a comma to describe the word that came before it, that's called an appositive. Let me show you what I mean. Anthony, comma, a preacher of the gospel, comma. The phrase a preacher of the gospel describes Anthony. So let's go back. From these banished Jews, comma, the Black Portuguese, comma. So the Jews who were banished from Spain and then from Portugal stood out from everybody because they were black. Oh, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes on to say these Negroes were purchased in Guinea, Congo, Madacongo, and the colonists had plantations furnished with from 150 to 3,000 Negro slaves. This scholarly work goes on to say, in the beginning of the 15th century, the Spaniards and Portuguese began to transport Negroes for labor to the West Indies and Brazil, by which the Negro trade was rapidly increased. End quote. Okay, so the people of Judah leaves Judea after being conquered twice, once by Babylon in 586 BC, and then again by Rome in 70 AD. And one of the places they ended up was Spain. So they go from being known as Judeans, Hebrews, sons of David, to now being known as Negroes. As I have shown through the respected Jewish site, Jewish Virtual Library, of the 1492 expulsion, from Spain, many went to Portugal. And after 8 months, they were kicked out of Portugal. As I just re-showed in the previous videos, those who did not convert to Christianity were exiled to Portuguese colonies in Africa. So, in the spirit of my favorite detective, Joe Kenda, let's follow the evidence. Let's start with the respected Jewish site again, Jewish Virtual Library, and it states the expulsions from Spain and Portugal from 1492 through 1497, where the number of victims has been assessed by historians from 100,000 to several hundreds of thousands, removed the Jews from the Iberian Peninsula almost until present day, and brought about a series of expulsions of Jews from islands within the sphere of influence of these countries. So far, all the evidence is consistent. And all I can say is, let God be true and every man a liar. Am I coming too hard, too fast, too soon for 2022? Do you want me to slow up? Do you want me to stop so you can have church as normal? I didn't think so. Well, let's follow more evidence. Per the World History Encyclopedia site, it states the Portuguese arrived in West Africa in the 15th century. So as we now know, that means the late 1400s. They began to explore further south. And it states the Portuguese colonized Sao Tome and Principe in 1486. As seen on the screen, Sao Tome and Principe are African island nations. Also, I've provided you a list of Portuguese-speaking African countries on the screen that you can peruse at your leisure. The next evidence I'm going to present is actually from someone I would consider an enemy of the Hebrews. But as the old saying goes, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. The next evidence is from a quote from Jean Barbu, a French slave voyager. If you study history or have lived a certain length of time, you understand that most of the time, your enemies know you better than you know yourself, because they have to study you before they destroy you. In the 1870 publication, The Nautical Magazine, a journal of papers on subjects connected with maritime affairs, volume 39, it quotes experienced French slaver Jean Barbu regarding Sao Tome. Now, I must warn you, you might want to sit down on this one. It reads, Barbu states that in the reign of Don John II and about the close of the 15th century, again, that means the 1400s, large number of Jews were expelled from Portugal and taken to the coast of southern Guinea. That the island of St. Thomas, and we now know that's Sao Tome, which is not more than 100 miles from the mainland, was populated by mulattoes descended from the Jewish exiles and Anglo women. Oh boy, this is getting good. Before I get started, let me give some working definitions, although I am pretty sure you all already know this stuff. But again, at Critical Thinking Ministry, we are here to learn together. We do not want to leave anyone behind. Well, let's start the discussion with a question. A few of them, by the way. The first one is, what is a mulatto? As you can see on the screen, per dictionary.com, a mulatto is a person of mixed white and black ancestry, especially a person with one white and one black parent. So, we got that out of the way. Second question, what is an Anglo? Now, Dictionary.com gave a definition for an American audience, and it said, it is a white English-speaking American. But the key word is white. When I looked up the global definition, it gave as white, as in Anglo-African, Anglo-Brazilian, etc. Now that we have a working definition of the key words, let me ask my critical thinking family a basic standardized question. Jean Barbu, an experienced French slaver, states the people of Sao Tome were mulattoes, descended from Jewish exiles and Anglo women. If mulatto means a descendant of one white parent and one black parent, and the babies were born to Anglo women, and Anglo means white, what color were the Jewish men? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to answer, and please don't let me down. If you said black, you got it. The Jewish men were black-skinned. Man, what a way to begin 2022. Please Watch this video several times for understanding, and please fact check me and research for yourselves. On the next video, I'm going to teach on a very special place in Africa where the Negroes called their own. I think you are going to love it. Until we meet again, remember, faith plus critical thinking will always lead you to truth. God bless you.